Hello, everybody. So we decided to try that out because it was just so cool. How is everybody today? Thank you guys so much for waiting. I truly appreciate it. How is everybody doing? Hello. I'm going to try and Kaniki. Hello, Jenna. Hello, Polyfree. Hello, Smash Mouth. Hello, Crystal. How's everyone? How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing good. I'm loving this new background and the setup and the intro. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
everything is looking great.
I actually forgot that I had put this background on. I was playing with it this morning, but is it too distracting for you guys? Should I leave it?
I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does, right? It's very hi Neelam. Yeah, I think it's pretty. It is a pretty background. I like it. What do I have in my background here? That's really weird. Oh, I have some sort of unicorn pillow. Okay. Okay, whatever.
Is that one of those pillow buddies or blanket buddies?
Yeah. It was like, one of those pillows that you shove your pajamas in or something like that, right? Like, wasn't mine. It was probably Dre's.
It's cute.
Cute. So, how was your week? So, you guys, we have a huge announcement first of all, okay? So, Brandon, did you want to tell us about your week first? And because that's going to be part of the announcement, and we'll go from there.
Oh gosh, wait, which one? There are multiples.
I will start then.
Okay.
So, I just Polyfree missed you guys for sure. The outside banner looks great. I'm having a snuggle day with my chihuahuas and doing biology homework. Oh, good for you, Zach. That's awesome. So I can now do this. This makes me very happy. So
that's so cool.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the announcement that we have, guys, is we are going to be changing the show to Sundays, okay? And we do apologize for that because I know that, everybody is so used to us being on Saturdays, but there is a huge reason why this is. So, the reason that we're going to be changing it to Sundays, and I believe it's going to be the same time, or are we changing that? I think maybe till 2 in the afternoon, 2
That
Mountain
might be a little bit an hour later. I think
it'll be an hour later, and it will be on Sundays. But so there's a couple of things that we've got going on here. We are going to be adding another Saturday show eventually, fairly soon, okay? But and this is actually, we're really excited about this show, like the one that we're going to be doing on Saturdays. It's not going to start next week, though. It's going to be a couple weeks, but we're going to be bringing on live guests. We're going to be bringing on, this is going to be, all of the guests that we're going to be bringing on are going to have a supernatural or paranormal background. So this could be tarot readers. This could be paranormal investigators. This could be people in that field. This could be like all within that variant, as long as there's a supernatural or paranormal background. Yes. So we're going to be bringing on other readers, the whole bit. However, Brandon and I are going to move our show to Sunday because Brandon is going away for a couple of months. He's actually going to Hawaii. So
yes. Yeah. I'm pretty excited. It just kind of came up, and honestly, like most trips in my life, they just kind of come up sporadically. And again, just another, I really am, I think, a great example of taking action that is divinely inspired, because that's mostly the majority of the actions that I take has been some kind of divine sense of inspiration. So I'm performing a few weddings this year, and it's kind of working out where I get to sort of retreat to Hawaii to really get back into the soul. I see Hawaii in the middle of the ocean, right? And it just looks like it's just this little blip. And you have had your experiences in Hawaii, Kathy, so you know that
I've been there 3 times, and I absolutely love Hawaii. So
I've never been, so I'm excited, and I'll be there for a little while. So Kathy is bringing on another moderator here to help us with the show. But that also means if we have another moderator, that I get to be on camera as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some additions that we do have. Thank you all. I cannot wait. I would love to take you all with me, 100%. I would totally love that.
Yeah, I wanted to just address Will here, because he's saying he works on Sundays. So obviously you can go back and watch the show. However, as you guys know, I hope you guys know that you can always submit questions to us as well. And we will still put your name into the rotation, into the, into
The lottery.
Into the lottery. Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, for those that, do put a donation in, your question will be up there first, whether you're here or not here. And, we can always send you a link as to the approximate time that we did answer your question. So we're more than happy to do that for you as well.
And honestly, Kathy, this isn't a bad idea if we were to put it on our webpage to have a submission where they could just put that in ahead of time. That would be great.
Yeah,
we might be able to set that up for you.
Yeah. So the moderator that is going to be coming on while Brandon's away, or probably like permanently, so that Brandon can also do the show with us, is actually someone who means the absolute world to me. It's my daughter. And you guys are going to love her. She's very interactive in the chat. She'll be, she will, I don't know if she's decided whether she's going to go on camera. It might be, sporadic off and on camera, whatever. That's okay. But you guys will absolutely love her. She's intuitive. She was also, she's also a body piercer, and she is a drug counselor. So there, we'll have also that, counseling background in there, as well. She won't be answering an awful lot of questions, but if she does feel the need to chime in, she absolutely will. And I'm really excited about that. So yeah, it's the show's going, guys. Like we're really happy about this, and especially about being able to bring guests on when we're able to put the Saturday show, get it really rolling. We'll probably wait till Brandon gets back from Hawaii before we really, get everything in motion. But I am going to try and have those guests lined up so that we can just go straight into it and go from there. So, yeah.
So new shows, new times, different day for the readings, and other opportunities to submit questions are on the horizon here, y'all.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to try to bring in an awful lot of, like tarot readers. And I was in the paranormal world, I guess the paranormal world. I was an paranormal investigator. For those that don't know, I was an investigator for, over 10 years. So I have my experience, but I also got a lot of contacts in that field. And I'm going to be bringing quite a few of them on as well. So there'll be like all kinds of, different topics that we'll be able to discuss and really delve into. So it's really exciting, really exciting.
It really is. I feel like, if there's anybody that you all as our listeners personally want to hear from, we definitely welcome any suggestions and can try and line that up as best we can. But I think we really want to try and bring you different people and different experiences so you can see, all the different areas that just a spiritual consciousness touches, in our lives. And so I think with the guests that Kathy and I have talked about already, I think we'll be able to provide that, just different perspectives. Again, like what you get when you get readings here with Kathy and I, you get different perspectives of the same energy. And I think anytime that you can do that, it really helps the brain, the mind. The mind is the one that we all have to worry about, right? Yeah. The soul and the heart are usually good, but it's the mind that gets loud and annoying sometimes. So I think it's good for the mind to see different ways of connecting.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it, simply because of the fact that, You know, I think it's going to be interesting, especially with the different readers. And, because like, even like you'd said, the different perspectives, and we all, you know, usually when we're doing readings, we usually pick up very similar things, but it might be a different way of looking at things. Like that different perspective, that different viewpoint, whatever it is. Zach is saying my mom's friend is a hypnotist. Oh, hey. One, because I actually know several hypnotists here in Edmonton. So, Zach, if you don't mind just putting their first name, that would be awesome, because I do have several friends that are hypnotists as well. It'd be interesting to know if they're some of the same ones.
As long as you don't get a new favorite hypnotist, I hope I'm still the favorite.
Of course you are.
Oh wait, no, I'm a hypnotherapist. That's a little different.
Yeah, actually, one of my best friends is a hypnotist here as well. So one of my other like really good friends, he actually has made my logo for me. He's Jamie Pruden. It's Jamie Pruden Art. And so he made my logo. And if you guys ever get a chance, definitely check out his Facebook page, because he's got some amazing stuff. But he's actually Sebastian Steele, like professionally. And that's one of them. I have to look for his name. I've known him since I was a little baby. Yeah. Hi, Turgat. How are you? So Brandon and I were wondering like what to talk about today. So we were like, I feel like this week there's a lot of very, very heavy energy that's happening right now. And it was funny because Brandon, did pull cards, and he's like, Kathy, it's like, apparently you need to come up with the topic is what the cards are saying. So I'm like, great. Oh, good. Great. I'm so excited about that note today, because it's been a really, really heavy week energetically. And I think, we know that the moon is going into Virgo. And
it's there.
Yeah.
And it's full. She is blossomed.
Right. Yeah. And I think that really hit a lot of people. I think too, is that there's a lot of releasing that really needs to happen. And I'm going to come at this from the perspective of the masculine plus the feminine. So within the masculine, there is an awful lot of energy of, and we were sort of talking about this earlier, a lack of balance, a lack of recognizing their path, or not recognizing their path, or maybe struggling with recognizing what the path is, and not really going. I think that part of that energy is starting to fade now, but I do think that this week has been very strong in that energy of like holding themselves in a place of guilt for some of the things that they may have done possibly in the past, and starting to release a lot of that energy, and also coming into a place of going, okay, where is it that I want to go, stepping forward.
This should definitely be a good release full moon. I mean, if you haven't cried yet, I feel like you can expect to shed a few tears in the next couple days or so, because it's a very big release. It's like, I don't know if it's exactly releasing something before something happens. I don't really feel that, but it just feels like a release amidst the energy is weird. Let me try and explain it to you as I feel it. It feels like we're releasing things that were happening from the past, but it also feels like a mid-crisis release, quote unquote, where we're letting go of some stuff so that way we can deal with the rest of whatever is coming. Because as Kathy and I were talking about, the last year was kind of like a big bump in the road for a lot of people. And it doesn't feel like that bump is fully gone yet, is what Kathy and I were saying. So it kind of seems like we're in the midst of that, and this release just feels like it's not only letting go of stuff in the past, but it's helping us in the near future. So like I said, if you haven't cried at some point, you'll probably shed a tear. I know I certainly did just before this call. I was talking with a close friend who I'm performing their wedding in June, and just thinking about her, and she said she was trying on her wedding dress, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're actually getting married. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And just so excited and happy for her. And I couldn't help but to get some tears. And then yesterday I had a close friend who had a really beautiful realization, and they're really taking on some amazing self-healing, and it just makes me cry. And oh my goodness, it's just been a beautiful release.
That's, you know what, when you hear stuff like that, it's a weird feeling. It actually, not weird in a bad way, but it's like a bit of hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hopeful feeling, right?
Yes.
And even if you're not the one that's completely in that energy at this time, it's like the star from tarot. So it's like that hope, that faith, that hanging on, knowing that maybe the next step might be better, or maybe having a sense of strength about the next step.
Yeah.
And so for the feminines, there's a lot of releasing from, again, the past, but in a different way. It's sort of letting go of energy of things that people have done to you. So it feels like the masculine is more in an energy of, what have I done? What crappy shit have I pulled? And the feminines, it's like in that, you pulled crappy shit, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to work on releasing that and take the step forward in a new energy. Does that make sense to people? Have you guys been feeling that? Does that make sense to you, Brandon?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense to me, for sure.
And it's a hard energy, right? Because you sometimes circle around and circle around and circle around. And it's a difficult energy to let go of, but you want to let go because you know that once you release it and you just sort of drop it onto the floor and go, okay, that is old baggage. I'm going to go get some new baggage. Pretty baggage, good things, all of that stuff. That's when we really come into our power. And I feel like, if you guys can tonight, I think tonight is the actual full moon, is it not?
I thought it was this morning. I thought it was early this morning, but I could be mistaken.
Okay.
I thought I saw somebody post that it was like 3:47 a.m. tonight, which was earlier, a few hours ago.
Right. Okay. And that very well could be, but I mean, the energy is still going to be there for, a few days. So if you guys get a chance tonight, maybe this is a really good time to just sort of go into your own energy and do some releasing, do some relaxing, do some whatever it is, as Brandon said, let it out, have a good cry, have a good whatever, and just take that next step forward,
Yeah, so it was this morning. It was early this morning.
Okay.
So today is the perfect day to do it.
Right. Oh, okay. I'm just reading Zach's thing. I think I know who that is. Huh?
So it is the same person, that Sebastian Steele?
Yeah. That's my friend Jamie. So he's the one that made the logo and
cool.
bunch of art and stuff like that. Yeah, he's his art especially is very it's amazing art. So, and I mean, with COVID now, everything closed down. He can't do this, the hypnotist shows and stuff like that. But yeah,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, a lot of artists are really, I think they're really suffering right now. Neelan is saying, this full moon is giving me a heavy headache, right? Like this whole week has been like that. It's like, one minute you can go up and the next minute you're like so far down, you're wondering like, how do I even crawl out of this freaking pit? And then as you're crawling up, you're like, oh, now I got hit with this headache. And, it just seems to be like this energy of, it has been really hard. And it's like, once you, like again, as Zach's saying, this peak's going to feel so good though. Like once you get through it, it will feel good.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that Hawaiian mountain peak. That's where I'm looking to.
Yeah, right? Yeah, like, yeah, I mean,
there's going to be a lot of hiking. So
what's that?
There's going to be a lot of hiking in my near future. I've already my sister, I'm visiting my sister in Hawaii, and she was telling me that there's a hike that you go on and you go up on top of this mountain. And if you look in the water, you can see the whales like breaching and, kind of traveling in the water, since this is still the migration period where they migrate to the south for mating season and all that stuff. So, those peaks you're right, Zach. The peaks are going to be great.
Yeah. But, again, once you get through it, it's going to be good on the emotional level, not on the, on the Hawaii level. It's going to be amazing. But, yeah. I'm just,
I have a question that I have to ask you though, Kathy.
Okay.
And that's kind of what was coming up when we were thinking about what to talk about. And it feels important for you to talk about what drains your energy, where it affects your own sense of spirituality, spiritual understanding, or connections.
Ooh, okay.
What are the things that drain your energy that does that? Okay.
So I'm a pretty, it's funny because I do this show, right? And I mean, I have an awful lot of friends, that I communicate with, or like, I guess, whatever, like friends, acquaintances, a lot of that stuff. But I'm really an introvert. I really am. Like, I'm one of those extrovert introverts. Like, you can put me on a stage. Like my whole life, I've been, performing in some manner. I don't want to say performing, not like this is a performance, but in the public eye in some manner. So when I was younger, I used to dance publicly. I used to actually Hawaiian dance and Tahitian dance, which is like, which is kind of cool because you're going to Hawaii. But so cool. Yeah. So I used to Hawaiian dance. I used to do it professionally. I did it, championship, that sort of thing. I was, in acting for a while, like through high school. So I did a lot of, plays and then, with Edmonton Paranormal, we, TV, radio, I don't remember a time where I haven't been in some sort of sense of the public eye, right? But ultimately, I'm really private. I think I'm really private. Like I really like, I don't know if you guys are on my Facebook page, like you see that I post, like I might post like a picture and once in a while a status, but I'm a very, very private person. I'm probably more open here than I am, on Facebook or public or social media. Right. So what I find that personally drains me is, I find it's when I actually kind of went through a little bit of that this week, to be honest. I was really going through something and at the beginning of the week, and I'm sort of also one of those people, like as much as I'm going through something, I might only reach out to a couple of people, or I might only ask for, guidance or help, or whether it's through my guides or maybe a couple of friends or whatever. But I was really kind of going through something at the beginning of the week, and I was like, I just really went introvert. And then I realized, like, as I was going introverted, all of these messages kept coming in from other people. It's like, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me with that? Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me with that? But it wasn't really readings. Like they were sort of coming in under the false guise of help. Like, hey, how are you? You know, how's everything? Oh, by the way. And I'm one of those people, like, you know, and you know this, Brandon, like if I need something, I'll just be like, hey, I got to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And there's, you know, there's you, there's, you know, and Jessica who comes on the show. Like, I mean, we can be really like open and be like, boom, hey, this is where I am. I need blah, right?
Yeah.
You don't need that false presence. And I've never done that false presence.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people come at me with a false presence, the energy around it is so painful. Because it really it's like one of those energies where so I'm one of those people. And I think, you know, we may have kind of touched on it a little bit. I'm one of those people where if somebody, let's say I pay, let's do a hypothetical here. Let's just say I loaned you money. Okay. And for whatever reason, you couldn't pay it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, hey, Kathy, look I cannot pay you this money this week. You know, I just had some crap come up. This is where I am. Can we make an arrangement for next week? I'm like, okay, that's cool. Right. I'm good with that. Let's deal with that. Like, that's perfectly okay. If somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, you know, my dog is sick. I broke my foot. This happened. And they're giving me all of these excuses first. And then at the end of all of those excuses where my brain has already shut off, because I'm just like, okay, whatever. Where's the punchline in this?
Yeah.
Then they come and they say, oh, by the way, I can't pay you the money. Right?
Uh-huh.
Now you've made me angry and you've broken my energy. So that is what pains me. And so when people come to me and they say, hey, look, I really need help with a problem. And I'll be like, okay, how can I help? How can I help? But let's do this in an honest manner, right? Let's do this in an honest way. And when they're coming at me and they're like, oh, you know, I just blah, 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 blah. And I'm just, my brain shuts down and my emotions shut down and everything. It's like, I just don't, I'm not there. I can't be there. And that's where I find that's, you know, when you're asking what drains my energy, it's that energy. And because I'm a really straight shooter. Like I am a really straight shooter. I might be private, you know, with a lot of things, but when you ask me a direct question, I'm like, boom, I open up. There's my book. There you go. Read it. I have nothing to hide. Like this is where I am. Right. So that's what I have a problem with is those people that try to hide or have that sneaky energy behind it.
So it's that hidden agenda, not being forthright.
Right. That's 100%.
What if it was somebody that was like, maybe they weren't fully dishonest, but they're like cryptic and they're not letting you in on certain things.
That pisses me off. I that energy is very difficult for me because for me, I don't understand the reason for being cryptic. Like there's no, it's a very dishonest energy. It's a very dishonest energy. And it's an energy of it has that gaslighting energy behind it.
Yes.
It does. It has that very strong gaslighting energy. And
you can sense them withholding something and you have no idea really, you know, logically what it is. You can intuit, you can empathically try and pick something up. But at the end of the day, you know, it's still something that they're purposely withholding that's not always going to be clear. And then probably for you, and I'll make the assumption for you being a more spiritually oriented person where you do pick up on information from other people, it can send your mind reeling in so many different directions because you're picking up on all of their energy. So it's like, well, then you end up in like this storm of like possibility, right?
Yeah.
And so I could see 100% why not only that's just personally frustrating, but how it can drain your own spiritual connections with other people.
It does so much. And it's such a hard thing to find that hump over, right? Especially when, that, I guess how do you say it? It's like, when you're a very understanding person, and it's not like things can, it's not like you're one of those people that people can pretty much tell anything to,
Yeah.
and that you're not judgmental in it. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, if somebody said, "Hey, I'm a mass murderer," or whatever, like, I might have some issues with it.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing: this is life, right? This is life, and nobody's going to be perfect, and we all have crap that pops up, and we all have things. So I'm very open to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But when that energy is sneaky,
yeah, it's a weird vibe behind it.
It's very clear. And it's like, but here's the thing, I think it's a matter of respect too. So it's kind of like, you don't respect me enough to be honest with me, even though I know that you're being dishonest. You're still trying to pretend that there's a level of honesty behind this, and that is so false.
I'd have to agree with you as far as this being draining, because it really does take away from your own sense of self when you have to put so much into somebody, like, for example, being cryptic or, being fake authentic in some way, again, just being inauthentic. And it's like it feels like they're trying to get something out of you, but then they're not being like clear about it. And then I'm over here feeling like, well, did I do something wrong?
Right.
Did I offend you in some way? What did I do, for you to not trust me or open up? And then that makes me question my character. And I'm like, what is going on? When you could have just in the first place just been direct and honest about whatever it was.
And that's exactly it. Yeah. Because you question yourself. And here's the thing. And so this is the interesting part, because as you and I are talking, we are both very, psychic. We're both very empathic. We can pick up on energies. So so people will, there might be people that are saying, well, if you're psychic, how could you not know what's going on? Because people hide behind their, they put up these blocks.
Yeah.
And so when those blocks are up, we have to do extra work behind, to get into those blocks. Like it's like when we're reading on people that are closed, we have to open up different doors. We have to tap into the different energies. We have to follow a path, right?
Yeah.
And so when that energy is really closed and there's a personal connection of some sort, that makes it even harder, because our emotions are involved, and you can't, as much as we'd like to say, well, I'm going to remove all of my emotions, you can't really do that. And it does make it very, very, it can make it very difficult. It's like, what is the purpose of withholding the information that you're withholding? Like, what, like, again, does it have to do with me? Does it have to do like you're basically saying you don't trust me.
Right.
To reveal this, even though I know that I've never done anything to deserve this distrust.
Right. See, that's the thing that I want our listeners to understand is, like, for people like ourselves, and if y'all can relate with us, you certainly might, we have to take a little bit extra discernment with who connects to us, who's going to be our friendships, who can maintain that level of friendship and connection, who will be forthright and honest. And I feel blessed because I have friends all over, the world. And it's not just located where I'm at, geographically. They're people that I've met along my travels and journeys, and I maintain those friendships. And a lot of people think I'm strange for, I'm often on the phone talking with people that I've become friends with over the course of my lifetime. And I keep them because they're real and genuine. And so, again, some of you may relate. It's hard to keep people in your life that just don't exhibit that same level of openness and directness. And sometimes, we have to go through and allow that fading or that cord cutting to happen with people that aren't resonating on that vibe. Or, what I really love, and these are the friendships that I just value, is like, I can call out in that friendship and be like, hey, your energy is not the same. Like, something's going on. What can we do? Is there anything I can do to fix that or bring that, to a better place? Or do you need anything, et cetera? And sometimes all they need is just somebody to say that, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh my God, thank you for recognizing that. And thank you. I'm so sorry if I was, distant or cryptic or, whatever in the past. And I just think it's so important that we, as we're talking about letting things go, we focus on what has definitely a drain on our energy, but also the inverse, what is good for us, what's going to maintain our own equilibrium. When we have a goal, path, desire, something that we want to manifest in our lives, when we keep that vibration, but yet keep letting other people into our energy that hold a lower vibration, it makes it even harder to, get to that goal, that desire, that manifestation. And so I think, again, under the full moon, it's a perfect time to talk about, sometimes people have to be cut out if they're just not getting it, that are not aligning with our goals. And hopefully that cutting out can allow that reality shock to come in, right? Of like, oh, I better get my stuff together or else, I'm going to lose the person. And it's just hard. That's why, you'll hear Kathy and I say, like, we're going to be direct and honest about this. We're not going to beat around the bush with whatever we're picking up. It's just because we sort of have to be that way. We don't have much of a choice because we're picking up on so much all the time.
Yeah. And it's almost like walking around. I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, like when I'm at home, unless I'm actually being asked to, tap into something, if I'm doing a personal reading with somebody or if I'm working, whatever it is, usually, like, I'm not saying I walk around fully open, right? Because you're just being you. But it's when people's energy is coming in and it's in that false state, or we were talking about being empathic, this week, right? And I was saying, like, I personally don't, I guess because I feel like I should sing a Lady Gaga song, like I was born this way, but ever since I was little, I've always felt that energy. Like you just always have felt it. And it was, always, for me, it was like odd that nobody else felt it. I couldn't understand that. It was like, just how come you guys don't feel what I'm feeling? How come you're not seeing what I'm seeing? How come you're not hearing the phone ring? How come you don't know who's on the other line, or whatever it is, like whatever was happening. And I couldn't understand why everybody else couldn't do that. And nobody could understand what the hell was going on with me. Right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. But when you get to this place, and I hear from people, and I'll be on forums or whatever, and I hear from people that will say, oh, I can't go to the mall because the energy is too much, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And it's like, why are you limiting yourself? Why are you limiting yourself? Like, hey, I get it. Like, maybe the fact that I was born this way, maybe there's been an advancement in some way, not saying I'm better or worse than anybody, but, or that you are, or we are, or anything like that. But I'm not going to stop myself from going to a freaking shopping mall because of other people's energy. To me, that's a very low vibration. So for me, it's like, okay, one of the things that does affect me is crowd. So let's say I'm at a hockey game and they sing the national anthem. I have to bring Kleenex because I will be like, and it's not because I'm sad. It's because of that collective happy energy. And that really emotionally gets me. And my kids always used to laugh at me at school plays because they always sang the national anthem. And here I am bawling, like, during the anthem. And they're just like, oh, there goes mom again. Oh, fuck. crying, because I'm sitting there crying during or parades, like a parade, and then the when the bands come on and, like the bagpipes and stuff, like bagpipes make me lose it every single time. So basically what I'm saying here is like, know your energy and push yourself a little forward, right? Instead of saying, hey, I'm not going to go to the shopping mall because there's too much. Instead, change that and find a way to, hey, it might not be one method, right? It might not be the first method, or it might not be a method that Brandon and I suggest, or whatever it is, but find something that grounds you in order to move it forward. And instead of being, well, I can't, be in that, I'm going to try this. This is a new method. I'm going to try this method. And, it doesn't mean that you need to be at a shopping mall for 10 hours, but you should be able to at least go in and deal with it, right? Like we deal with this all the time. I'm pointing at my computer because I feel like I'm talking to right to you, Brandon, but you and I deal with this all the time. Right. And this is like with every single person that we meet, every contact we have, all of that stuff, it's always there. And so what we need to do is get into that place where you're allowing it to flow through you. So
it's that flow state. Honestly, it's something that I think almost every single spiritual teaching kind of tries to get us into, whether it's following Buddhist, whether it's following Reiki, whether it's following any sort of transcendental meditation, whatever. It's always about trying to access that flow state, which really is just a state of balance. What we don't know is we're always in balance in ourselves, right? But it's the way that we're balanced sometimes that we really don't want. So that's what we're trying to figure out at all times, is like, which flow states, do I want to be in, or can I even access at this time? And it's just, when you add other people to the mix, it just makes it that much more challenging. So, for the sake of just being in each other's lives, for those of us that are more sensitive, that do pick up on energy, I think, all in all, just be clear and direct. There's no better way, because we're living in a world that's picking up on so much more information than a blind eye would.
Absolutely. And it does. There is always going to be the challenge. I mean, I feel like today is a challenge for me. And because I do feel that deceptive energy within somebody, and it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And you just have to kind of guide through it, and it is what it is. And, if somebody can't be direct with you, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Que sera, sera.
Yeah. I mean, people should not be surprised if your energy has to go one way just in order to mitigate your own self, right?
Yeah. Jenna, I keep seeing 555 every day. I know, right? Like it just like that minus 4 5s, but I don't know. It was just 5s have always been such a strong number for me with everything. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
I've always found, for me, it's always been 3, the number 3.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. 3s.
That comes up so much for me.
Mm-hmm. And 7s are really strong for me too. And 11s. So it's like 5, 7s.
Oh, yeah, I get the 11s a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I get the 12, obviously, because of my birthday. That comes up really often. But you know what is really weird is the number sequence. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 all the time. Okay. All the time. And anytime that comes up, for me, I always take it as like this is a call to action. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. And so I get up and go do something. I'm like, okay, I got to get up, I guess, and go do whatever. It doesn't matter what. Just get up and go do something.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was thinking what we should do is maybe get started on the readings.
Yeah, so we've got one donation.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to confirm that for me, Polyfree is mentioning that they put in a donation for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Polyfree. Yes.
Let's confirm that.
Got
I
it.
already got him on that list. And Zach, if you want to put your question in now, we can take that now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then anybody else, so if you did see the instructions, Kathy will pin them up there on how to submit a reading. If you're new and first time here, we just need your first name so we know what to call you, and your date of birth or zodiac sign, and then your question. If you do have somebody else that you're asking about, we ask for their first name and zodiac as well, or date of birth. And then Kathy will list out the restrictions that we are not going to read on.
So with our restrictions, so what the things that we don't read on are, so we don't look into health. Okay. We're not medical doctors, so we don't do health readings. We do not look into legal matters as well, because again, we're not lawyers. We do recommend that people go, to a doctor, to a lawyer. We prefer not to look into third-party situations simply because we can look into the energy of you and a person. Okay. And we do ask that we at least have their first name as well as either their birth date or their sign. And what you would like to know, right, about that question. But we don't look into third-party situations because we do not have the permission of that other person. We can look into the energy around you with a particular person because that's a little bit different, but we can't look into other people's relationships. And no pregnancy, again, that falls under the health situation. And I believe and the other thing we don't do is we will not tell you who your soulmate is, or when you're going to meet somebody, or what they look like, or any of that. Okay, we just don't do that. And if you watched our show before, you know why. But for anybody who's new, the reason that we don't do it is because we do not like to set precedents in somebody's mind. So basically, we don't want to be in this place where if I say to you, well, you're going to meet somebody by the name of Bill in, X amount of years, you're going to miss on a lot of opportunities between now and then waiting for Bill to show up. And so we can give you an idea of maybe perhaps when somebody's coming through, or what it is that you need to work on in order for somebody to come through, or how somebody's feeling, and seeing if this is going to move ahead in some manner. However, we will not say, okay, well, we guarantee your soulmate's coming in at this time and this is what they look like. So please do not ask us those questions. For general love readings, if you could possibly also put in just a little bit of like information rather than just general love reading, like, are you with somebody, are you not with somebody, what is it that you want to know? Because again, we do pick up on an awful lot of energies, and that can be very difficult. So,
and if you want, it's really for your response. If you want a general response, then you're going to give us general information. But if you want something a little bit more specific, be clear in that channel. You get back what you give out, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's just to have us to direct our energy so we know what we're looking for, so we're not spending an hour just looking at one thing so we can get to everybody we can. Now, if it was a private reading, that's a little bit different.
Right. Okay, so
do you want to pin those instructions up, Kathy?
I thought I did. Did I not? Because there were two different ones here.
Yeah, to submit for a reading, please type blah, 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 blah.
Oh, where did you put that? Oh, there you go. Okay.
There we go.
Yay. Okay.
Just in case anybody's popping in while we're connecting, and
Okay.
I just feel like that's easier. Okay, so I've got a question from Zach here.
Okay.
Zach is up first. Again, if you do all want to donate, Kathy provided the link in the chat, but it's also in the show description at paypalme.cathryn or .me/Cathryn567. So you can do that. Again, there's no there's no minimum or required amount or anything. Again, we appreciate your donations and reinvest it right into the show. As you can see, we're doing some upgrades. We've got new backgrounds, new features, new things. One thing Kathy and I are talking about are little transition slides. So when we do like open the readings, for example, we'll have like a little thing that has instructions. So we're working on stuff, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Yes. Lots of little videos and all that stuff. So it's kind of exciting. All right.
Well, let's get to our first here. I'm actually going to take a moment just to kind of connect and ground my energy here. So if you want to read Zach's question.
Yeah. Okay. Zachary Polly, March 4th. Okay. General energy reading would be great for this week. Okay. So first of all, happy birthday. But I know, because that's coming up. There is an awful lot of energy around your birthday. And I almost feel like okay, so it feels like there's a little bit of sense of sadness, and I don't know if this has, direct energy with your birthday. It feels like the last week or so leading up to this time, and there's a general energy that I'm picking up from you, Zach, that it almost feels like there's something, like it feels like you're feeling like you haven't accomplished things that you really wanted to accomplish, or things that it's almost like I thought I'd be further ahead, or I thought I'd be here, or I thought I'd be there. And it's sort of put you a little bit behind energetically is what I'm feeling. Like it's a heavier energy, but there's also this sense that's behind it that is saying to you, like, all is okay, you're on the right path. So you have this contradiction is what I'm getting sort of within your energy, like that first energy that's coming up, it feels heavy and it's kind of weighing you down. But in the other degree, it's like this confirmation that I keep hearing in the back of your mind, which is, I don't know if you're actually hearing it in your mind or if you've closed it down, but the confirmation that I'm getting is that this has been, it's been a journey, it's been a path, but this is leading you somewhere further. And this is why, they don't want you focused in on just this heavy energy, because it feels like it's coming to that realization of, in some manner, that this has only just begun in a positive way. Like in a positive way. All of this has just begun. And I feel like a lot of this energy that you're getting and you're feeling from the past, it seems to be coming up again. We talked about releasing, especially for the divine masculine. But what I'm also getting here is like it's this energy that is, it literally is trying to open doors. You know what I feel like? It feels like you're in like a jungle, okay, is what I'm getting. It almost feels like a jungle energy where you're trying to get through the vines and just through, these big jungle leaves, and trying to push things aside and all of that. But at the end of it, it kind of reminds me of that Knight of Swords energy from the tarot, where you've got that big sword and you're cutting through this path. But that when you get to the other side, you've got this clearing. And it doesn't mean that there's never going to be challenges or anything like that. But as soon as you get onto this other side of doing this releasing, because there's a lot of internal energy that you do hang on to and don't really allow yourself to release in a way, it almost feels like, that self-blame that we were talking about earlier to some degree, or I could have, I would have, I should have, done this. And I feel like there's a lot of releasing that needs to happen with that. But you're on that path towards doing so. And it almost feels like literally like next week, once your birthday comes and you kind of get into this energy of recognizing how much you've actually accomplished. That switch, that change happens almost immediately. Again, there's always going to be, we're always going to go through some sort of emotional, whatever it is, but it feels like, here we go. We're about to step in. And I hope that helps. That's what I'm picking up. Hey, my mom called.
He probably missed some of that, and he can go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Here. But I know what you're picking up here, and I feel similarly. One thing that I keep seeing when I'm connecting here with Zach is this. It feels like the roots are firmly planted and the self is really getting known, but something outside of himself is like draining or trying to eat away at that. And maybe it's really good that we talked about these draining energies, in the beginning of the show, and how to mitigate or what to do with it. And the one thing that I keep feeling, Zach, is this feeling of needing to connect with others on some kind of social surface level, something simple, plain, fun, easy. Because it feels like you've gone through a lot recently to define and kind of announce, or really just define is the word, your own sense of character and who you are. But when I ask Spirit, what is being needed from you at this time, and they do keep showing me to keep kind of using your anchored and new defined states to harness and bring in quote unquote emotional insight. So I feel like you've been doing this already. So that kind of shows me that you've been on the right path and you're still kind of in alignment with what's going on in yourself and what Spirit is kind of showing us as well. I think, with Kathy kind of mentioning that, that energy of it was like the sadness where, am I where I need to be? Is this where I need to be? I think a lot of those questions will be answered through the use of that emotional intuition. So it will probably help to mitigate any of those difficult feelings, because it really feels like what's being focused on and what's really coming through in your energy is this sense of grounding or continuing or needing to ground and really keeping those roots buried. So that way you're not faltered one way or the other. Solidity seems to be quite important right now.
Yes. And he says, every year I feel like I'm getting way too old to be where I'm at. So yeah, that's because that was exactly the energy that I kept picking up on. It was like, I'm not further enough. I'm not far along enough. I'm not, but I hope it's okay. I'm just going to read this out. So I felt down all week. I hate it. It's also the lack of relationship and kids, but I'm in school and trying to get established enough to have a family. See, and that's the thing. You are doing the right thing. And that's exactly, it's like that. It's like the emotional is playing with the logical. Okay. So the logical is coming in saying, hey, Zach, like you have, you're on that path, where you're going, Spirit is guiding you, you're in school, you're heading towards what it is. But there is that emotional part in here that, you might be seeing other people, perhaps be emotionally further along, like the relationship, kids, whatever it is. But you also know that once you get through is in line for you. It's all aligned. It's all coming through. You also don't want to be in this place where you're holding yourself back, with education or, finances in some way, because those are also going to propel that ability, for the relationship, the kids, the house, whatever it is, like whatever your dream, your personal dream is within that realm. And that is going to be, it's going to help higher your vibration towards that. So I hope that that's helped. Yeah, and there's no age to have children anymore. As Dazzled says, like, absolutely. Like it's, there's, there's no rush. There's no rush. Like, but I do feel once you get through this little bit of a hump, it's going to make that massive difference for you. So yeah, I hope that's helped anyway.
That's good energy. And honestly, if that's your goal, it feels like you're very much aligned with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we're saying in the chat here, as well as on air, that those things take time, but you're right in the right balance, right in that right energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you are. Okay, so I think, do you want to explain how the lottery works?
Yes. So for those of you that are listening or haven't been here before, so I am taking all your questions and your information here, and I'm putting you in a list. I'm going to type that list out in the chat, so that way you know your number. So I'm just putting in the last few additions here. We've got Neelam, Jenna, Dazzled, Nikki, Kay, the Unknown. So far submitted for a reading. Again, if you do want a reading, just put your name, first name, and your date of birth or zodiac in your question in the chat, and I'll throw you on the list. Even if you're coming in later, I can still put you on the list. That's why we're doing this lottery, so that way it's a little bit different than our other past shows. We're just trying to give everybody a chance to be able to get a reading. And honestly, it's a lot of fun when you win something. I love winning stuff. I know that it's pretty exciting. So
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Will, I've got your question. Otherwise, if you are unsure, because we're going to do the show probably for another hour, and we'll try to get through as many as we can in the next hour. But if you really want a guaranteed reading, you're not sure, you can still use the donate button for today's show. If you don't want your information out on the show and you want something private, Kathy and I have that as well. You can visit our websites here. For me, it's thedreamteacher.com. Go click on the appointments tab, and you can set up an appointment with me there.
And mine is oracleintuitions.com. You can also reach me through Facebook and Instagram, though, too, please. My website's not fully set up for everything, but you can get a general idea. I'm still working on it. I'm still adding to it, but definitely message me on Facebook or Instagram for personal readings. And make sure that the other thing is make sure you're a subscriber to this channel in order to have your name on the list. Yeah, you have to be a subscriber. Please share and like this video, because that really does help us with the algorithms. It pushes us up there. It allows people to see it, and it brings in more people in order for us to be able to do more free shows and add more features and everything else to everything. So I'm going to go grab some more coffee, actually, while you're putting that list together, if that's okay, Brandon. And
absolutely.
All right.
So I've got the Unknown. I've got Smash Mouth here. Again, if you're just popping in, you want a reading, be sure to type that information in the chat. What I'm going to do is I am going to put this list so you all know your number in the chat here. So let me do that real quick. And then that way you all can confirm that you are in, that your position is locked in. So the way I'm doing it is the number is right before your name. So you'll see your name in this chat, and then your number is going to be right before it. So be sure to kind of listen in, because I'll be calling out your number. I'll also call out your name associated to it, since I've got that list here. But just be sure that you're listening in case your number does get called. And again, that's why we have it set up this way. So if you're just joining, you still are able to have a chance at getting a reading just as much as anybody else. So we've obviously been playing with that format a little bit. And of course, that just went away. Darn it. I pressed one button and all of a sudden, all my words are gone. What in the world? So yeah, that's why we have it set up this way. If you guys were with us before, we had it set up where you had to submit, and we just went in order of submission. But our regulars were just getting really, really good at putting in their questions super quick, which we love. And would love reading for you guys, but we want to make sure we gave everybody a chance. But we are going to be doing other little shows, and especially for our regulars, where we can kind of hang out a little bit and chat. And if you all are interested in coming on to camera for your reading, we might offer those as well, where it's like you come onto camera and talk to both of us. Since Kathy and I are going to be doing a new show on Sundays, we might even offer something like that so we can kind of interact together, and you can see what the reading is and what it's all about. And Jenna, you had asked here, will there be lottery on the Saturday shows? So we may do lotteries on the Saturday shows if we have guests. So Saturdays are going to mostly be about guests, right? So if we do have guests that are offering readings, we may still do the lottery for those shows as well. It depends on our guests and how they are and if they do want to give readings at that time. But mostly it is going to be the Sunday shows that offer the readings that you're seeing now, with it's just Kathy and I. I'll likely be on camera for those shows as well, since we are getting a new moderator, Kathy's daughter, which I think will be really awesome. We're excited to have her on, and she'll be able to take care of the chat for me and kind of line up all the readings. And then I can just come and read and look at all of you and see your beautiful faces or beautiful screen names, whichever, if we don't bring anybody else on camera. So let's see. We've got, hi there, Darkness. Welcome, welcome. So we've got the lottery list here. I use a random number generator to bring up who is going to be next. So it is all just random. It's nothing that I'm doing. Essentially, it's just like, picking a name out of a hat. So no big deal. So if you see your name in the chat in the lottery list, that means I've got you. Otherwise, if you don't see your name, I do not have you on the list, and you won't be called for a reading. So make sure you do put that information in the chat if you do want a reading. So we'll be just right back. Kathy is grabbing just some coffee. And this is why we're trying to work with these little windows and doing little transition slides and stuff, so we can put those up literally like a real TV show. That's what we're working on. Honestly, it's a lot of fun, and we're getting a lot of growth. And also, shoot, when I travel, I'm going to see if I can still be on camera even while I'm in Hawaii. See if I have like a beautiful background or something to show y'all. I think that would be really cool. With us using StreamYard, it really helps me and Kathy a lot, but it helps me to be kind of anywhere. Yes, Lala, of course. So just go ahead and submit your information, and I will put you on that list. Exactly, Jenna, exactly. I just want to bring you all with me. And honestly, this is a good time to kind of tell you, I mean, this is my prerogative. These are my goals. Like, I would love to bring all of you with me, but a big thing I'm working on is creating this kind of really big space, like a home, a big mansion kind of place. And I found one, and you can kind of see it on my website, where I have one of the homes that I'm really looking at. And it's a place that, it's going to have quite a few bedrooms that anybody can come and visit. Like, a big part of me and my motivation in this life is to hold space and to have sacred space for people. And so having a place where you can literally come and stay and interact with me or my energy or what I've created in this home, it's just like, it is my absolute dream and dream come true. It's the thing that I'm manifesting on earth. And that way I can literally bring you all with me. So that's the motivation for all of my work. That's where all my energy goes. That's where all the funding and money raised goes to. It literally goes to creating this. And I just want to be able to have a space that you all can come and visit, interact with me. We can do hypnotherapy sessions and healing sessions and hot tubs, sitting and soaking in the pool in the hot tub or going in the lake. Like, it is my absolute purpose and my dream. So I truly mean it, Jenna. When I tell you, I wish I could totally bring you with me. I wish I could bring everybody. But they're pretty strict on traveling to Hawaii right now. So it takes a little bit of a run around and things to do. But I'll get there. I have no worries. I have no doubts. All right. So Lala, if you want to submit your question. I thought I did have a question for. Oh no, I do
I'm just
not.
going to pin up this lottery list right here.
Okay, I'm about to redo it. So,
Oh, okay.
if you want to do the new one.
And we did receive a donation from
Spider Fingers, it looks like.
yeah,
I
Samantha.
love that name. I love that name. Spider Fingers. That's so cool. All right, Lala, make sure you submit your question. I've got you on this list here. And it looks like since Spider Fingers made a donation here, they're going to be up next. So again, we honor our donations by putting you all up in the front, getting priority. So we appreciate that. And to show our appreciation, we put you at the top of the list. Could we have your first name, love, if that's comfortable with you?
Samantha.
Samantha, okay. Samantha, our lovely Cancer sign.
Yeah, I like what Jenna says. I just like sharks and she just likes spiders. I'm actually okay with spiders. I'm okay with spiders, but
I could so see you with like a tarantula.
yeah, I could
totally
see
get it.
myself with one too. I was actually, Zach had mentioned my baby snake. I was going to bring him up and, put him, show you guys.
You should bring him sometime and show us.
Oh, I'd grab him right now, but I don't know how many people don't like snakes, so I don't want to,
You don't want to trigger anybody?
Yeah.
He's so cool. Kathy and I were on the phone the other day, and she was cuddling with her little snake friend, and he was just poking his head through her shirt. It was cute. He is cute. He looks so innocent and sweet there.
Yeah, right. That little face peeking out of my house coat. It was funny because I was on the couch and I was just like, Jenna just. We don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what Brandon calls the snake. We're going to leave that alone.
No, she's
I'm
saying,
okay with not knowing.
She thinks you named your snake Brandon after me.
Yeah, I was on the couch and I had picked him up and I just sort of cuddled him, I'd put him on my house coat and all of a sudden he just started crawling right up and he starts peeking his little head out and I was like, oh my God, I have to take pictures of this. I'm like, look at it's so funny.
Okay, let me update this lottery list here, and then we can go right into Samantha's reading if you're ready.
Yeah. How come there's a background?
A background?
Yeah, I can hear myself in the background.
Oh, you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I did hear myself as well earlier. Let me make sure that, yeah, the echo cancellation is off. Is it really bad?
Yeah. I can hear it through it's coming through the
microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make sure.
It just started, like it wasn't there before, so I don't know if you switched a thing.
Nope, I didn't switch anything, but I'm going to turn the volume down. How about that? Let's try that.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Okay. Okay. As long as you can hear me, and I'm not getting the feedback now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. If you want to pin that updated list,
okay.
And then we can get going.
Sounds good. All right. And what was Samantha's question, or Spider Fingers? Sorry.
Spidey Fingers. Samantha.
I love that name too.
I'm just wondering about any energy around me right now.
Oh, okay. So Samantha, I just need to verify something. Are you talking about on a mediumship level? Is that what you're asking? Or are you looking for something else?
feel like it's something else. It definitely feels like a general thing to me, because I think I emphasize the any more than she may have. But I just had this feeling to emphasize the any because I can feel a blend with Samantha of like wondering if something is in the ropes or in the works that she may be anticipating here. But it very well could be. Maybe it is a mediumistic question.
Okay. I have to actually start with that because of the fact that there's something coming in that's really, really strong right now. And then we can get more into maybe what you're picking up with Brandon as well. So because if I feel like if I don't say this, like I'm not going to be able to tap into anything else. So Samantha, if you can, when I'm doing this, if you can sort of verify that this makes any sense to you in the comments, I would be really appreciated. So I keep picking up on a woman, okay? And she does feel like she's passed over.
I do feel her as well.
Yeah, she's coming in really, 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 really strong. And I don't know if this is, God, I almost, it almost feels like I don't know if this is a mother or grandmother energy, but it could be a friend. I'm just trying to discern the energy, but it's almost as though she just like ran right into the, like literally right into my room here. And it feels like this is somebody obviously that you were very, very close to in some manner. She has a bit of a younger energy though. So it could have been somebody that had passed away or is showing me as a younger energy. I'm just trying to figure out who the heck she is, because she's it's like I'll be honest, what I'm hearing is it almost feels like a mother or grandmother energy. However, it feels as though this energy is quite young. So it may have been somebody that had passed on that is of a relative energy in some way, or somebody that had, maybe perhaps given you that motherly or grandmother type of love, or somebody that you looked up to. I hope that this is making sense. If you could just kind of verify down below, because I might be able to tap into it a little bit more as it's coming through, but it's like, it's really strong, but I'm not quite hearing exactly what she's telling me.
There does seem to be a lot of importance placed upon the women in the family. That feels quite strong.
Yeah, like a lot of women.
Yeah, like there's like information or energy passed on from woman to woman in the family. I don't know why that seems so important. And maybe there is something physical that's even passed on to the women in Samantha's family here. That feels like, it just feels like this ancestral connection that is passed down this lineage. And it feels like that energy is kind of what's swirling around Samantha at this time. It's like, maybe that's a priority, a focus, a goal, something, to live up to, perhaps, maybe living up to certain things that they have done or want you to do in your life. But the feminine energy, the matriarchy, feels like really strong here.
Yeah. I'm getting, it's almost exactly like you were saying, but it feels like bloodlines. And this very much could have to do with bloodlines along the spiritual path, the psychic path, all of that. Like, it just feels like there's a very strong bloodline, even if somebody hasn't revealed the fact that they're psychic or spiritual or empathic or, sensitive in some way. It does feel, I lost my grandmother. There's a lot left unresolved there. We have been kind of distant for a while due to family drama. Okay. That makes a lot of sense then. But I'm also, I am kind of getting more along the,
Lots of strong women. Okay.
yeah. I just can just give me a second. I just want to listen and see exactly what is coming through here, because it feels as though there's a very, very strong message, but I think I'm talking too much, to be honest, to listen. Okay. There is an awful lot of Wiccan energy and that's coming through here. Okay, her aunt had visions and is psychic. That makes a lot of sense.
Good confirmation.
Yeah, there we go. Because it feels as though there is a Wiccan background that is coming through. And it feels like this may have possibly stemmed, I don't know if it's this grandma that has passed over, or, but it feels like this is a bloodline, is what I keep hearing. Bloodlines. Like I just keep hearing bloodlines. I feel like this is the time for you to start really connecting with your own personal gifts, psychic, empathic intuition, your psychic gifts. God, this woman, she's like literally right in my face. But yet she's very unclear as to what she's saying. But she does feel like a younger energy, even though she may have had, like she may have been the grandmother, but she's coming to me. Oh, okay. So she's saying, and I don't know if this makes sense to you, Samantha, but what I'm hearing here is something along the lines of like she didn't follow her own path, her own gifts. It's basically she's asking, it's like she's waving her hands, like she really wants you to hear and know to follow your path, to follow your gifts, to follow what has been shown and is coming through for you at this time.
There is one thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
I can't get clear on it. Samantha, if the one thing I keep feeling is like this pressure about children. So I don't know if you have your own children and you're going through pressures with them, or if you feel like you're being pressured in some way to have children right now, but that seems to be kind of coming through clear. And what's important is whomever is kind of speaking with us and speaking with me, they're showing me that it's important not to follow all of those pressures from outside sources and to keep turning within, that you are connected to this lineage and therefore you have this natural feminine matriarchal intelligence literally within your DNA, and to kind of keep following that energy and that vibe, because that's kind of what guides you not only for your own path, but it keeps that sense of family that you're intertwined with. And they really are kind of, they're showing me the importance of this family and why these women are so strong in your family and your life is because of following those impulses and those guides.
Yeah. She still has more to say, but she's backed off a bit. So I feel like you definitely hit on like your what you have said is very accurate, right? Yeah. I'm really getting this impression from her though, too, is that it's going to be so important for you to follow your path, to stay aligned within yourself. I feel a lot of pressure being in my late 30s and being single. See, there you go. You were right. Yeah, she does feel a lot of pressure. But what I'm hearing from her is, I feel like what you said is aligning with what I'm picking up, because it really feels like she wants you to follow your path, like to remove the pressure from what everybody else is putting on to you. Okay. Like, this is important for you. And I feel like she was pressured in some way. And this is why, I feel like she's trying to rush in. It's like, let her know that this is really, follow your path, Like, this is more important than other people's paths. Like,
Yes.
yes, you might have pressure, whatever it is, but this is your path and you have to follow it. And I feel like there was this, you know what? It's really interesting because I feel like she's really grateful at the fact that you are coming to a reading, because it feels like this is something that she's been wanting to say for a while, and she hasn't had that opportunity to tell you this, that she really wants you to follow your path. Like, what is it that you want to do? What makes you happy? What makes Samantha, strong within herself? This is more important than all of the other pressure around. And I really get this strong sense that she was pressured. It's not that she didn't enjoy her children and her grandchildren and everything like that, but she had aspirations that were beyond just being the wife, the mother, the grandmother, all of that stuff. It feels like she really wants this to be known to you in some manner. So I hope that that's helped.
I think that's really the main importance, is like, you have to follow that internal intuition. And I want to say something as well. For a lot of the times, what this woman is communicating to me is, back many years ago, during this sort of lineage, it was just much easier for a woman to have a child because it kind of opens you up to all these energies already and kind of keeps you in sync with that feminine energy, that whole matriarch. But if you can do that outside of having children, is kind of like the point. And you don't have to, to remain connected, because the point is to have that family lineage by listening to those internal pools, those intuitive notions, that intuition. Yeah. And as far as having a child, once that pressure is removed, so you have those connections, it really feels like it could still come up as a complement to what you already have, Samantha. So the point is to remain connected to that family. And the women in the past in this family did it just by having children, but then it was almost like a sort of easy cop out, quote unquote, to remain connected. And so there are some women who were more connected, some who weren't, the ones that kind of turned within. And she's telling me this as soon as Kathy said, not to feel that pressure. They showed me this vision of, I don't know if you have like an uncle or some kind of male in the family who's kind of an asshole, for lack of a better word, but they're like, see what happens when you rush into things, they turn into an ass. Or she's like giving me this vibe. So that's the point, not to feel pressured. The only pressure is that sense of remaining connected with this strong feminine that's in the family. And if you feel that you are there, and you already said you have powerful and strong women in your life, it feels like you're already in that alignment. And I think the point of today's reading and message is, don't feel that you aren't living up to something, because you already are, as long as you recognize and feel those strong women in your life.
Yeah. So let us know if that resonated with you. Let us know if that has helped at all. I truly hope it does, because I just feel like this is such a strong message for you. And, it was like almost instantly, as soon as I connected with you, like she just came running through. And, her dad. Okay. So she's confirming that, what you just said, Brandon. So that's awesome. Yeah. And thank you again so much. We really appreciate it.
Beautiful.
All right.
Cancerian women, I love Cancer women so much. There's something so comforting and secure and like deeply loving about, I love Cancerian women. I've always been drawn to mothers in this lifetime. And so that's a perfect example as to why.
Well, there you go. Right. That's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, it totally resonated with a lot of the stuff that she's been feeling and dealing with lately. So I'm glad it helped.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Samantha. All right, so we've got our lottery up here. Lala, I still don't have your question. Make sure you submit that question in the chat. I think I've got everybody else. If you're not on the list pinned up on the chat here, that means you're not in for a reading. So make sure you do if you do wish to have a reading. All right, we've got everybody's numbers, looks like. And if you're ready, Kathy.
You betcha. Let's go.
All right, so we've got 8 people. Let's put the number 8 there. And let's generate our first one. Random number generator is giving us number 6.
Number 6, the unknown.
The unknown. Into the unknown.
And make sure you're subscribed and all of that. So I'm just looking for the question. Did they put their...
So there is no question.
Okay.
Jade says, I'll take whatever message I need. I can put that in the chat if you want.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I can just put that question in the chat.
Okay. So Jade, did she give her birthday?
Scorpio, 2nd November.
Oh, okay. Whatever question is coming through. Okay. Give me just a second, Jade. Let me just see what I'm getting here.
Let's make sure Jade is still here.
Yeah, maybe if Jade, if you can, oh, there she is. Okay. All right. Unless there is an energy coming through. I'm getting a really weird vision coming through, and I'm not sure what this is about. I literally am seeing like vases or pots, like almost like a ceramic pots that are coming through. Like I want to say, you know, those ceramic vases with like, you know, like the round belly vases that are coming through with the skinnier neck and the opening, and they're ceramic. Why is that coming through? That is really weird. But they're very, I want to say they're very Mayan looking. Like I'm almost getting this energy of, you know, those old clay pots that, you know, they would have made in like the Mayan era, or, you know, they have the symbols on them and all of this. It feels like a very old energy is what I'm being shown. And I'm not sure as to why these are coming through.
I feel like I might have a theory based on what I'm being shown.
Okay.
It's because I keep being shown that Jade, it looks like you're amidst some kind of deep spiritual questioning or new understanding. They keep showing me that there is this quote unquote mountain that you're having to climb right now. And they're showing me that it is in regards to your own beliefs, your sense of spirituality and connections. And they're showing me that it's like you're climbing this mountain and you have no idea what's at the top or what's going to be done or what's to do. Are you amidst like a huge emotional change, or even like some kind of like quarter or midlife crisis where you're like defining yourself or what you believe in? Because they keep showing me that these things are like in question, and they're showing me you're climbing this mountain and you don't even know what mountain you're climbing or what's at the top, but there's like this energy that you feel like you're having to push forward into things.
I'm getting a lot of ancestral energy as well, like almost as though you could be possibly, if you are you researching your ancestry, or is there some sort of, this even could be what Brandon's picking up on. It you know, this could be ancestral, like old ancestral sort of energy that is really coming through here, kind of saying, look at, you know, either research or really start honoring your ancestral patterns and honoring your ancestral gifts. That is what I'm feeling. Because again, I keep getting like Mayan, or, you know, like this is old spiritual energy that's coming through. This is positive. Like it's a very positive energy that I keep getting. Does that make sense to you? Do you?
Yeah, I get that energy that you're picking up on, because it does seem to be like there is some kind of past or maybe even past life connection to this. I don't
Okay,
remember much from my childhood. It's been a
there we
topic
go.
I've been
There
recently
we
thinking
go.
about a lot. Okay. So
Yeah.
you are looking into things and you're unsure about. Okay.
Okay.
So this is hitting your core. This is
Yeah.
absolutely hitting your core.
I feel like Jade is okay, so what I'm really picking up here, and I hope that this helps, is I'm getting there's this difference between the 3D and the 5D. Okay, so like our 5D is our spiritual path, our 3D is our physical path. Okay, and I almost feel as though in order to come to a more grounded energy within your 3D path, it feels as though you got to explore part of that 5D path. So again, that old, because I just keep getting this old ancestral energy that's coming through. I almost feel like doing some solid meditation for yourself, looking at, even possibly a Akashic record type of meditation, which you can find on YouTube. But doing some sort of spiritual work in that way. I almost feel like if you're trying to, it almost feels like your 5D path is going to help with the 3D in some possible way. I don't know exactly what this 3D energy is about in regards to your childhood and you having some, loss of memory in regards to it, like not remembering much of it. But it feels as though you may need to tap into, again, that ancestral energy of some sort in order to bring that 3D energy to a grounded energy. Okay. I don't know if there was some sort of trauma from the childhood, or, this even could just have to do with, basically being in a loss of memory of some sort. But I feel like it's almost like you're asking your ancestors to help guide you forward into this 3D reality. And there may need to be some grounding energy or releasing energy from that era in order to be in this place right here, right now. What I'm getting here is like this from the childhood. While there is a level of importance to it, it should not be your main focus, is what I'm getting. It feels as though, again, that ancestral energy is more for the here and now and to bring you forward in a strong and spiritual path. So, are there any energies coming through for me? Well, in what way? I guess is the best way to ask, right? Like, are you talking romantic? Are you talking, just general energies?
I wonder if she's asking about any spirits or anybody kind of coming through. I wonder if she's speaking on that. Before that comes up and before you respond, because I think we're on a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, we have to stay on a timeline here.
The one thing I keep seeing is that you are in for quite a shift. And what I keep being shown with you, Jade, is that there will be emotional changes, especially what you're investing your emotions into. And they keep showing me that if a breakdown is inevitable, that it's important to see it not as a loss, but as like a phoenix, that new will be built from that. And your energy really encapsulates this idea of the phoenix. Being a Scorpio even is a good example of that. And that you will be pulling out the things that are not working will literally be shed off, and what will stand is like the vision I'm getting is absolutely beautiful. It's like all this stuff that's surrounding this key, and all this stuff breaks away, and what emerges from those quote unquote ashes is this beautiful golden key that's standing there, and that key has the potential to unlock so much. And really what that key is representing is just balance and harmony and alignment with the self. So it does look like you'll likely go through some shedding here in the very near future, and some definite shifts of emotional and personal investments into others, into self, into your path. But what will become clear are when things fall away. And if you're even amidst all of that right now, with the things falling away, the things that are left standing will be the things that you can rely on, that are solid. And when you build from that space, when you build from here, everything else just becomes much more solid and concrete, so that you have something solid to continue to walk on.
Mm-hmm. I'm really getting the energy that even though your past is something that you need to explore, again, it is going to be more of that ancestral. I don't mean like, grandparents and that sort of thing. I'm talking a spiritual ancestral. It almost feels as though you are going to be guided. You're going to be helped through this next step. I almost feel like your guides themselves could have a Mayan ancestry of some sort. It doesn't mean that they need to be relatives or anything like that. It doesn't mean that you're Mayan or anything like that. But what I'm getting this sort of feeling around it, and I feel as you go through, is to remember to stay grounded, because I do feel like I'm hearing about 6 months. Okay, about the next 6 months are going to be very spiritually developing for you, is what I really get. Okay.
Big spiritual transition. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so just stay grounded, stay within your own energy, allow your guides to help you through this, and if you do need to tap into, your guides, just really, open your mind and just allow them to talk through you and just to listen. So I hope that that's helped.
That grounding is so important, Kathy. That's so important for Jade right now, because
it is. Yeah.
these energies could be a little heavy, and it's important to really remain grounded.
Yeah.
It's a big, big, big key right there, Jade.
Yeah. All right. So next one, let's do.
Thank you, Jade. Thanks, you.
Jade. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope it's helped.
All right. Next up, we've got number 4. That is our Nikki.
Okay. Cool. All right. And what is?
So Nikki would like to know, our Libra here would like to know, is if the move I'm making is the right choice.
Yes. There's a hesitation there. I do feel the hesitation. I'm literally being shown a seesaw, like those old seesaws, up and down, and it feels like there's almost I don't know if it's a fear or a sadness or something, that you're leaving something behind by making this move, is what I keep getting. It's almost like I don't know if I want to leave what it is behind in order to move forward. So this could be on a metaphysical level. This could be on an actual physical level. It just feels like there's this sense of, do I move forward? And what I'm hearing very, very loudly is yes. Like it's like say goodbye to whatever it was that you're leaving behind and make that move forward. But I'm really feeling a really strong pull towards where you currently are, or what it is that you could possibly be leaving. Like it's almost like it's literally like your feet are grounded in, like you don't want to move. It's like you don't want to move, but you know that that's the better move, but you don't want to move. It's like you're stuck, but you should move. It's almost like your feet are in mud. It is literally what I'm feeling. It gets so strong towards that energy. But what they are saying, what I am hearing, is to pull your feet out and take those steps towards the move that that you should be doing. That's what I keep getting.
Is there a fear, Nikki, with you perhaps losing some kind of form of communication, maybe with somebody or a group of people? Because I feel that fear. And when I ask Spirit what this move is going to be for you, what I'm shown is that although things may be distance with these communications, there is a strong sense of growth happening in these, maybe they're interpersonal relationships, maybe they're past coworkers or something, that you're not going to lose out. So I think it is, what you're fearing, you think may die or die off or disconnect, is not going to, but the distance is even going to allow for a stronger sense of growth. So it does feel like a good move. Like it feels, the energy behind it. Okay, so I see it as being quite neutral, but it borders on more positive than just neutral. But the move feels necessary for whatever reason. And so I wouldn't worry too much that you're going to lose out on something, because it does feel in path with you, and kind of where you're going. I mean that as a broader generalization about your path in this lifetime, not just like your actual physical moving right now. That it feels aligned with that. And again, they keep showing me this fear of like a communication, with people kind of dying and that fear happening, but that's not what is going to happen, luckily.
No, I don't feel that you're going to lose the friendship. I feel like the first few steps are going to be, they're a little bit difficult. And of course, if we have the fear behind it, it makes it even more difficult. Like I said, it felt like literally like mud, like when you're scared to take that step forward, it feels like you're being held back, or it feels like, do I want to pull my foot out and move forward, is what I keep getting. But what I keep getting is once you make that first step forward, you're going to actually find that the path ahead is so much easier to walk for some reason. And I feel like it's not going to be a matter of losing a friendship. It's actually going to be in some way enhancing a friendship.
Yeah.
It could even be this friendship, but there needs to be that change, because it feels as though where it is right now is kind of stuck, and moving, taking those steps forward are going to help expand things. It doesn't mean that new people won't come in some way, or that there's not going to be, some sort of expansion, but I feel like you need to get out of this energy in order to move this friendship forward in a more positive manner. So I hope that has helped.
It does feel positive. It feels like a good move.
It does. It really feels like a good move.
And honestly,
yeah,
I can speak from personal experience. I've moved a lot and I've made some really important friendships, and the ones that, really show me that reciprocated nature of friendship are the ones who
just give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Somebody's at my door.
The ones that have really stayed are the ones, that have reciprocated that friendship connection between each other. And I mean, I'll sit there and have, 3, 4, 5, 6 hour phone calls and, just connecting with friends. And even though we're, thousands of miles away, we're still able to maintain that. So it's absolutely possible. It can be done. It obviously takes two to tango, but when friendships are genuine and honest in that way, and I feel that this one is, Nikki, just because of how much you care about it and how much it's affected by your move and your own actions, they do, last over time. So I think it's going to be a good thing for it. Oh, you're very, very welcome, Nikki. Yeah, sorry, y'all. There's a little bit longer of a delay now since we use StreamYard. Little bit of a delay. So we get the messages in a little bit later, but it's no big deal. We work with it here. This is something I was talking about recently, because some people think it's so weird for me. Like I talk to my family so often. I'll talk to my brother and we'll just sit there and chat on FaceTime, and people are like, wow, you talk to your family like on the phone? You talk to people on the phone? Like, who does that anymore? I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Everybody has phones now. Why wouldn't we talk on the phone all the time? And I guess I just didn't understand that it wasn't quote unquote something normal that everybody else did. I thought everybody talked on the phone all the time. I mean, Kathy and I will sit there and talk for hours about all sorts of stuff. I love having friendships like that. Shoot, I even have friendships all the way in Australia. I've got a friend out in Singapore. And we find ways to make it work, even though we're literally half a world apart. It's like daylight over here and nighttime over there, and still make it work. So there's no excuses anymore, right? Because we've all got phones now.
Exactly, right? Like if you're not keeping in communication, then like it only takes like seconds to connect with people nowadays, right? So yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I had somebody drop something off for me, and I didn't realize that they were there. And so I was like, I heard my dogs barking, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's all good. So
yay.
Amazon.
All right. Thank you, Nikki, and good luck with your move.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up, we've got number three, our dazzled Empress.
All right.
Dazzled of Empress. All right. So our dazzled would like to know, as a Cancer, what career do you see me going into?
Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't pick somebody's.
I know we've talked about this though before.
Yeah, that is one of the things. Like, I'm not going to pick your. I'm just going to actually make that a rule now. We're not going to choose your career for you. You have to give some sort of.
Didn't we see something with dazzled though? Like, I thought we saw something about a beauty line or something. Do you remember that?
Maybe. We'll just kind of Dazzle, can you just change your question or kind of phrase it in a different way? Cliff, hello. How are you? And thank you for dropping by. Yeah, just if you can just kind of rephrase that in some way. Yes, absolutely. Please do change the question, or like I said, rephrase it in some manner, just so that it'll make it easier. We're also getting to that point too, where we're going to start to run out of time. So I don't want to, what does Spirit want me to know? Okay. Okay. I am getting a strong message for you. Just give me a second here to put it into words. I feel a lot of high-powered energy, like high power, like running, like movement, a lot of movement. Things changing, things moving towards something. It's like they're asking you. This is interesting because, like you said, Brandon, this could have been an old, like from another reading, but okay, so what I'm hearing here is it's time to get organized, time to get ready, time to like get your ducks into place, because things are about to really move forward. And this very much could have to do with the career. This very much could have to do with something that is coming through it. But it's like Spirit is asking you, or I don't feel that you've been lazy. Okay. When I say this,
You're picking up on exactly what I'm picking up on too.
okay, good. I like it when we're on that same page, because I don't feel that you've been lazy or anything like that. They're not saying to you, get your ass in gear or anything like that. But what I am getting, it's like, put those final pieces together. Whatever it is that you're working on, put those final pieces together, because now we're ready to bring this through. Like, this is ready to happen and you have to be prepared. So it's almost like, the best way that I can explain it, I think in some manner, is kind of like being fully dressed, but you don't have your shoes on. Okay. So they're kind of like saying, hey, get your shoes on, because it's time to go. Like those last little wardrobe choices, or whatever it is that you have to put together, it's time to do so. Don't let that sit to the side, because it's coming through, and it's coming through really, really fast, and you're about to move forward.
Yeah, I'm getting that same energy. Maybe you have felt dazzled that it's like things might have been stagnant or not moving as quick as you might have wanted, and maybe you feel a little listless. But again, it's not about being lazy or anything of that nature. It's really should be a time to take advantage of getting. Spirit just keeps saying over and over, get the house in order. Make sure the house and the home is in order. Because there is growth that is coming through. They're specifically showing me that like opportunity is ready to knock, quite literally. So it just makes sense that what Kathy's picking up on, what I'm picking up on, is all about, okay, make sure you're situated, because things are likely going to take off, and they may very well take off quickly, since they're showing me that you're going through a period of stagnation and then into movement, and that movement might feel a little swift if you're not fully ready for it.
Like it feels like I don't know why I keep getting this image. It's almost like, when you're waiting for a ride to show up, or you're waiting for, something to happen, or whatever it is. I'm just going to put it into the example of, there's a car waiting outside, or you're waiting for somebody to come pick you up, and, you've got your pants, your jacket, your shirt, everything is ready. You have to put your shoes on, and that car pulls up, and they're beeping that horn, and you're like, okay, I just got to put my shoes on. Hang on. And that is the exact energy that I'm getting. So it feels like put your shoes on and get ready, because things are about to happen. So if there's any last minute pieces that you've got to pull together for something, do it now is what they're saying. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. I feel like it's a really good indication to Dazzled that things are gonna really
start going. Yeah. Like, I mean, they're literally like the rush feeling that I'm getting is like really overwhelming. So it's like, okay, let's do this. We're ready. You're ready. And there's that one last piece.
No, we hope you're ready.
We want you to be ready. So get ready. Like, but we're ready to go.
Why you had the stagnant period. Exactly.
Yeah. So I hope that's helped. You're so welcome. Dazzle. I love that energy though, because it's like that confirmation that what you want is about to come through. Right. And you just, this even could be on an energetic level. I don't even know if this is particularly career or whatever it is, but it just feels like it's something that you've been waiting for, and they're giving that confirmation that it's coming forward. That's what I keep getting. Okay.
Other thing is, you are a creative being, Dazzled. So you'll be creating, and I think your career as well. If not literally creating your own job, creating something in the work that you do. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. I think we might have time for like one or two more.
Okay.
All right,
do
so
it.
let's see who's next so we can try to get to as many as we can here. Next up will be number one.
Neelam, yay. Okay.
Neelam.
Is this Neelam's first time? I don't know.
No, I've seen Neelam here before.
Oh, okay.
Neelam is Scorpio and is asking a spirit guide message for me.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to tap into your energy. Go ahead if you want, Brandon. I can hear you.
I'm chuckling a little bit because I think Kay thought we said K.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. No, I called out number one. I'm sorry. We emphasize our OKs often. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, love.
Okay, Neelam. Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. I don't know why I'm being shown this. I never know why I'm being shown this until I start really tapping into it. So I always say that. But, you know, if it makes sense to you, please, by all means, do, you know, put it into the chat. But I keep seeing a king. I literally like a king with the crown on his head and the robe. And so let me just ask why they're showing me this. I don't know if this has to, there is a sense of royalty behind it, but I'm feeling it's more, I hear the word pride. Okay, what is this? I'm not here. It's weird. It's interesting because there's such a difference between pride and ego. And this isn't ego. This is about pride. Something about pride, like being proud, being proud. I feel like there's something about being proud about your accomplishments, being proud about, a sense of pride, a sense of expansion, a sense of, I almost feel like, I don't know if that you've already done the work and you're in this place where you should be proud. I mean, we should be proud anyway, you know what I mean? But it feels like you may have either worked really hard at something to get that sense of pride, like they're basically enforcing the sense of being proud, or if you're working your way. I keep saying this. This queen needs a king. Well, there you go. Oh, that's funny. But I am getting this sense of pride and proud. Like also be proud and be prideful of who you are. And I feel like, oh, okay, I'm understanding what they're explaining to me now. All right. So they are affirming, and I love this energy. So, you know, I've talked about this in the past on the show. I'm just going to, you know, say this briefly. There's such a difference between a princess and a queen. Okay. A princess is like, can you change my light bulb? I don't know if I need help. Blah, 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 blah. A queen recognizes a king because that king is standing beside her. He doesn't have to take care of her. Right? Like they're going to work together as a couple, as this strong, this strong couple. And the message that is coming through for you is be prideful of who you are, that you're recognizing this queen energy and staying in this energy is going to allow, it's opening that door for this king. What I'm getting here is that this particular king hasn't quite shown up yet because he's still working on himself. There's a bit of him that's kind of in that prince energy, like that I have to be the knight in shining armor. And he needs to move out of a bit of that energy. So once he releases some of that energy, he's going to be in that energy of the king, and which will allow him to step forward in a stronger manner. I hope that that makes sense to you. Like he's coming, but he's not quite there. He's not quite there. There's still a little bit of immature energy within him. I am hearing that this could be most definitely within this year. What I keep feeling is to stay within that energy of yourself being that queen. Okay. Like don't allow yourself, don't lower your standards. Don't lower your core self to appease anyone, because you're actually making whoever this king is, you're allowing him to advance from that prince to that king in order to become that couple. Okay. Like to have that king and queen energy. So that makes sense. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Brandon.
I do. I just want to type here in the chats for our new listener here. To be subscribed to the channel to receive a reading. So everything was kind of validated and confirmed with what I was connecting with here with Neelam, and it was that there is this finding that sense of self. And I think this is really important too. And this is in no way meant to be any kind of dig or offensive or anything, Neelam, but it's important for you to make sure that you are in that queen energy, and that you continuously and as a pattern kind of resonate with that, and to not let yourself fall down into that princess thing, you know, that Kathy was talking about as well, that you can do this for yourself. And what's important is that you really are defining your quote unquote queendom right now. You know, you're really in that sense of definition. And what's important to remember is that if something feels, friction isn't always a bad thing. When you feel friction and conflict with something, and especially if it's an idea or a belief or definition of your character, that means that it's just being challenged. And what comes out, that reaction, that's what's defined. That's what's sort of set in stone as part of who your character is. Now, remember, that can always change, but what's important is that even if there does feel resistance to something that you have defined or set as clear intention, even if friction comes against it, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. It means that it's being challenged to make sure it is true and solid and real, something that you can really, really count on. So it does feel like you are defining your sense of self as well. And I feel that's also why the king hasn't come forward yet, because you both are in that place of really setting in that definition. Mm-hmm. Once those are finally, you know, kind of met and understood and really just sunk into your being as if they're autonomous, that's where it feels like that king kind of comes up, because that's, you know, essentially what a king and queen does, right? Is they autonomously function because they know the right ways for themselves and their kingdom or queendom, you know, and then, you know, they don't have to go into existential loss of self, you know, when something comes up and they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? No, they don't have to do that, because they know who they are. And that seems to be exactly where you are in that path. What Spirit keeps showing me is that you are going through this sort of, I don't know if you've gone through this whole idea of dark night of the soul in the past recently, but they are showing me that this quote unquote moonlight is starting to set. It's like the moon is fading on those difficulties. And so as that moonlight fades, as it's kind of been up in the sky, that means that you've been getting really important insights through challenge or adversity. But now it seems like that quote unquote moonlight is fading. And now you're not going to be feeling those pressures as much, and you get to stand in that definition once all of that has settled. So it feels like you're right in that transition and kind of getting out of it as we speak. But just remember, friction, sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's there to help you create those definitions.
It's interesting.
Oh, you are going through it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark night.
And I feel like too is, again, you know, you were saying in the chat here that people are saying your standards are, too high. And that's why I feel like too, is like why that one of the things that because I kept hearing that word pride. And, to me, what I get from that is your standards are not too high. Have pride in those standards. Have pride into who you are. Have pride, at the fact that you're expecting more than, here's the thing. When somebody's sitting there lowering their standards, or somebody's saying to you, hey, lower your standards, that's because they can't have those standards that are matching yours. And, as humans, here's the thing. I think, did she say she was a Scorpio? I think so, right? Yeah. Here's the thing is that you don't need to lower your standards for anybody. Why? As an Aquarius, it's just funny because that Aquarius and Scorpio can have very, very similar energies in what they expect, right? And you got to stay in, you're not going to be happy if you're not within the standards of what it is that you want. It doesn't mean that, it's kind of like there's that difference between I expect somebody to be able to drive or have their own car, or have the financial resources. You know what? If you want to give them a financial number, hey, that's your choice. Is that going to come through? Possibly. You know what I mean? That's where you might want to lower something. But when you're saying you want to lower your standards, or somebody's suggesting that you lower your standards, that's basically saying is that they expect less for themselves. And you should never expect less for yourself. And that's where I feel too, is that king coming through is like, remember to stay with what it is that you do expect. What do you expect from somebody? You might just want to write it down, maybe keep a journal, put specifics in there and allow the universe to, help create him. I feel he's already ready and he should be coming through, but I feel him coming through actually very strongly. He's got a little bit more cooking to do. Like a little bit more cooking is the best way to put it.
Not ready to come out of the oven.
Yeah, he's not quite ready. He's not quite baked, but he's on his way. And staying within those standards is going to allow a healthier and stronger relationship with this person. There, a lot of times people will say, well, why can't he just come through now? Like, I can help him with this. Well, why the hell should you have to help somebody with that crap? Like, and that's the difference, right? It's like, why we're not here to make somebody grow or become, their leaning post or whatever, allow him to cook a little bit more. He's coming through. He's coming up. He's coming through. And you don't need to settle, for anything. Okay. So I hope that helps. Oh, she was just thinking about journaling, what I expect. Yeah, because I feel like that will help, right? Because once we take it out of our minds and we put it onto a paper and we put it in and we're seeing those visions and creating those visions as we're journaling, we're actually giving the universe what it is. It's kind of like literally a recipe. It's like here you go, take it and you go create that. And I'm going to go do my thing and I'm going to go cook for myself for a while. Until this is ready to come out of the oven. Mm-hmm. So that's the best way to explain it. That's what I keep feeling for you. So I love that. I hope it's helped, Neelam.
Good confirmations, good validations with that reading.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. You think we have time for one more?
I think we do. Yeah.
All right. So we'll do one more here. Again, thank you all for just tuning in. Again, if you do want to connect with me, I do have the ability to do free consultation. So you get 10 minutes free if you go to my website and you're not sure, maybe what to read on or what I can provide. 10 minutes for free. We can set up a free consultation, thedreamteacher.com. I also have some stuff that you can download, hypnosis tracks, and also a new Patreon page. And you can see all my projects on my little projects tab there. So to book a reading with me, just go to thedreamteacher.com and you can do so there.
And if you would like to book a reading with me, please go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my website at Oracle Intuitions. Okay. And I will walk you through the process. I usually do either video calls or phone calls, depending on your choice. Both prices are the same. All my readings are an hour long. So we get really in depth. We get really into it. And, you know, by all means, please connect with me through any of those at Oracle Intuitions. All right. So let's do our last one.
All right. Last up is going to be lucky number. Oh, wait, let me update the count. Lucky number 2. Jenna.
Okay. And remember, guys, don't forget to join us next week. I just wanted to, so next week we will be on Sunday. Okay, instead of Saturday, it will be Sunday at 2:00 Mountain Time. So we're just going to be changing it a little bit. If there's a change between now and then, we'll let you know somehow, some way. I'll put something up on my site here. But yeah, so thank you again so much. So what is Jenna looking into? What are we looking into for Jenna?
Jenna, my question is, can I have an update on what will happen with Caleb? He is 9/28. She is 9/22, Virgo and Libra. Still no contact, but he's spying on me on social media.
He's still spying on. Okay. Can you read that one more time?
So just, can I have an update on what will happen with Caleb? Still no contact, but he's spying on me on social media.
Okay. Okay. I keep seeing hallways like a school. I think you've told me this. Are you guys both in school? Because it almost feels like hallways. I hear something about, I'm literally seeing a corridor, like a high school corridor, which is really weird, like lockers and, you know, the classrooms. And I'm not 100% sure why, but I'll tell you what I'm just going to show you I'm just going to tell you the vision of what I'm getting. So it almost feels as like there's just the two of you in this corridor or in this school. And the vision I'm being shown would be from your point of view, where you're walking down the hallway and I see him kind of peeking out from the door. So he's like opening the door, he peeks out, and then he goes back inside. And I feel like that could be that social media that you were just mentioning, or what Brandon was just saying, like he's watching you on social media. I feel like he's creating he's a little scared to still approach, because I keep seeing him, like I said, it feels like he's peeking around the corner. Okay, like peeking around, opens the door, takes a look, but he runs back inside. So there's still a sense of fear there about coming forward. Like he's not quite ready. Like he still has a oh, okay, he liked and unliked my picture on Valentine's Day. Yeah, because it just feels like there's a sense of fear. There's a sense of, you know, he's not quite ready, but he's getting close to being ready. He just has something. Is his term for school or something like that almost finished, or whatever it is that he's working on? Because it feels like there's an ending coming to a project or a term or something. It's like, I just need to get through this. Like I just need to concentrate on this for right now, is like what he's saying. It's like, I just need to focus on this right now. I'm still watching, I'm still seeing, I'm still peeking, I'm still here, I'm still interested. I want you to feel my energy in some way, but I'm not quite ready to take that step forward. Oh, okay. So we said April. So that makes a lot of sense. And because it feels like it's almost there. Like it's almost there. There's just a little bit more. Okay. He needs to focus on something at this moment. and then that step forward can happen. So it's almost like he can open the door and walk into that corridor with you in order for you guys to move forward. So I hope that that's helped, because that's what I'm getting. The feelings are still there. There's a little bit of fear that's, still kicking around, or this little bit of, it's like he's watching just to make sure that you're not going anywhere, but he's not quite ready to step forward because he has to remain focused on something. So that's what I pick up.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll just resound what you're saying here. When I pick up on the energy between Jenna and Caleb, I do feel all of that same energy. I still feel that same connection. I feel the emotion. Spirit shows me that it's like being held back or reserved in some way, which you kind of already know, Jenna. But as far as when I ask, what's to come, they're showing me that things are going to go from this sort of void limbo state into, and they show me this image of like a child learning to walk, and they're like kind of walking a little slowly, taking their time, very, very dedicated and direct in each step. There's conscious thought going into each step. And so what that shows me is like things are going to pick up, and they're just going to take their time at first, and then probably all of a sudden it'll turn into this steady walk into a gallop probably, and this whole all of a sudden swift movement. So it seems like things are coming from that void, or not much really happening like you've been experiencing for a while, into these little baby steps, and then all of a sudden a full kind of gallop. So I think, just definitely take your time like you have been doing. I think you have exhibited some saintly amount of patience with this whole process, to be honest. It has been, I know that it's difficult. I know it's hard to be patient and to just kind of maintain your own energy, but it does look like you'll finally start seeing some action. And if we've already talked about when that's coming, it kind of looks like it's in line with what Kathy and I are both feeling here today.
Yeah. This is really the time to, I feel like, I know we keep saying it and it seems so redundant at times, but it's so true. Just focus on you. Focus on you. Allow it, and allow him to just come forward. This is going to be a natural coming forward, is what I keep getting. It's not going to be, and when I say natural, it means because he's ready. He's in that place. This is ready to move forward. This is ready to advance. It's ready to, working on your own self-love. It's not even so much self-love as it is your whole self-being. Okay, like, it's making yourself that stronger sense of who it is that you are, all of this thing, in order to create this pairing between the two of you. And
right. It's not like some cliche. We're not talking like bumper sticker here. It's a deeper understanding of the relationship that you have with your own self. And you study psychology, Jenna. I think you know this, that the relationships we have with ourselves are important. And that does seem to be what's focused on, not only just for you. Keep in mind, this is the way that you are handling this moment and love, period. It's not going to affect just you. It affects the people that you're going to connect with, that you help, the people you have friendships with, the people you work with in a professional capacity now and in the future. It's going to affect those as well. So that's why it's probably a repetitive message with you that we've talked about, over the past at least 2 months or so. I know that this has come up a few times, that it's such an important precipice and piece of the love that you get and feel in your life, and the love that you share with another. And then, of course, the communication healing that you engage with others. It's an all around important facet. Your relationships in your life are going to affect your work personally. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I hope that's helped everybody today. We want to just thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for everything. Thank you for always being here. And we will see you next week, next Sunday. And again, I will put some sort of reminder on, so make sure you guys are following me on Oracle Intuitions on Facebook or on Instagram. Just so that you can get the updates and everything. Make sure that you're subscribed here, because that does, it does help. All the updates will be posted to the channel. And We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything, guys.
Yes, thank you. We'll
All
see
right.
you next week.
Take care. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.